Hey, Top Realized Math Industry, and we're going to be trying to understand how to convert a standard form equation to a vertex form equation. So in this video, we're going to learn about how we can convert one equation to another type of equation, because it might be helpful when your teammates or your friends might want to understand the same equation rather than different equations. So, with standard form, we've been learning that standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c, where ax squared, a is the coefficient, b is another coefficient, and c is the constant. On the other hand, the new formula known as the vertex form is going to be a parentheses x minus by h parentheses squared plus k. K is also used as the constant, but the reason why we use the letter K is not to be confused with the letter C. And not only that, the letter H is also changed to make sure it's not confused with any other letter. So we are going to try and convert from here to here. Here's an example problem that we're going to be using. Here's an example. We have x squared minus 18x plus 56. So what we're going to be doing so we can get to a vertex form is we're going to do steps that's kind of like completing the square. Here's an example. We're going to rewrite the equation as x squared minus 18x blank space equals, instead of subtracting the 57, just like you would complete the square, you would just say 57, empty space. And we'll see what's in here for the empty spaces. Then we have to do b over 2 squared as the formula to find the factors of this quadratic trinomial. So negative 18, divide that by 2, is going to become negative 9 squared. We start it because we're going to use that later. So since we have a negative 9 there, we're going to have a positive 81. And instead of having a positive 81 there, we're going to have a negative 81 right there. But, why a negative? Well, if you imagine the equation being on a seesaw or a lever, so the left part right here is the left side of the seesaw, and the other right there is the right side of the seesaw. What you gotta do to make them work and equal is they have to balance each other. So one side has to be positive, while the other side has to be negative.
Start! Finish!
The next step is we have to find the factors. Normally when we're going to do completing the square. So what we're going to be doing is having x minus that by 9 parentheses squared, because that is what we got for here, and that's what we got for x squared, and that's going to equal 57 minus 81 is going to be a negative 24. And guess what happened? This is a vertex form. We have an invisible 1 right here, because that's our a value that represents x squared. And this is what our vertex form looks like. So this is what the formula for vertex would look like if we converted it from our standard form up to here. Let's see one more scenario, but instead of a equals 1, we're going to have a equals a different number besides 1. So here is our second example. We have 3x squared minus 6x plus 20, but this time a is going to be a different number. A equals 3, not 1, while b equals negative 6 and c equals 20. We are going to do similar steps to completing the square again, but this time there's a different step. Since a does not equal 1, and a represents a different number, to make this easier, we have to get that x squared alone. So we have to do 3 parentheses x squared minus 2x, blank space because we're looking for that first c, parentheses, 20 blank space. The reason why we did that is if we did this times that times that, that's going to help us get back to our normal equation on the top. The next thing we got to do is use the formula b over 2 squared. So we have negative 2x, well, just negative 2, divide that by 2, that's going to be negative 1. And negative 1 squared is going to be a positive 1. But since we put a 1 right here, we are not going to put a 1 right there. We are going to put a negative 3 over here. Why a negative 3? Well, going back to the previous problem over here, we said that it has to be balanced in order for it to work. So since we have a positive 3 here, the reason why we have a negative 3 is because the right-hand side that you insert has to be the opposite of your a value on the other side. This is what makes it balanced, because if you have 3 and 1 over here, it will cause the lever to tip over and not be equal. So that's why 3 and negative 3 have to be on different sides, because we have to equalize it. So our last step is to have the 20 subtracted by 3. That is the last step we have to do. And that will bring us to our a, parentheses, x minus h, parentheses squared, plus k. 20 minus 3 is going to represent our k value. So that's going to be 17. So here we have it in our vertex form. 3 parentheses x minus 1, because that's what we got for here, and for the x squared, and the parentheses, squared plus 17. And that is our new vertex form. The same way as saying it in our standard form. And that is one strategy we can put the standard form into the vertex form. There is another strategy that we're going to reveal in another video. I hope this video has helped you. Thank you for watching Untitled Chapter Math Industry. Like and subscribe!